think designers can work with meadows, pictorial meadows, in many different ways. Firstly, simply by replacing more conventional, traditional horticultural plantings with meadow-like plantings in the same place. Secondly, by not having so much mown grass and replacing that with meadow landscapes. And the whole point of pictorial meadows is that it gives that long flowering season without all the scruffiness and untidiness that you get with more traditional meadows. But I think we can go much further than that and think about creating whole meadow landscapes. So, for example, behind us we have a courtyard space within a housing area which is filled up completely with meadow. And that's how I like to think of the future for meadows, that conceptually we fill the whole space with meadow and then carve out spaces within that for people, so they're like islands of usage for play or for gathering together or whatever, but you're kind of immersed in that meadow landscape, rather than, as we often see with meadows, the meadows are kind of tucked away in little patches around the edges of somewhere, or kind of like an island in the middle. Why can't meadows be the landscape, and then all the human activities and uses we need kind of set within that? So I think that would be my vision for the future for how we can really design with meadows.
I think generally there's a huge increase of interest in much more naturalistic planting that is using much less energy resource to actually create. You know, if we think about a lot of our traditional planting, it's often grown in Europe, it's transported, it's using soils and plastics to actually grow. So this big drive really for having planting schemes which are much more environmentally friendly, but also more robust in terms of climate change adaptation. Schemes that you're not having to irrigate in the future. And then this mass interest, and quite rightly so, around biodiversity. Looking for schemes which are incredibly pollen and nectar rich, schemes which have a lot more biomass and can support a much greater diversity of our native sort of fauna, and to be able to bring this right into an urban area. So I think, basically landscapers are responding hugely to this big interest in environment generally, and trying to make our cities much more conducive really to people having to have contact with nature, but contact with the nature that they can really appreciate and understand.